Hey everyone, so let's talk about something that I'm sure hits close to home for a lot of tech teams, that exhausting, never-ending cycle of firefighting. Today, we're going to dig into a more structured way to break that cycle, not just for now, but for good. Let's dive in. Does this look familiar? I mean, you know the one, right? That one server that always seems to crash right before a holiday weekend. Or that application bug that your team has sworn they've fixed about 3 times this quarter alone. It's this incredibly frustrating loop of just reacting to the same alarms over and over. And it's more than just an annoyance. It's actually a huge red flag that something deeper is wrong. And the cost is massive. Think about it. Every single hour your team spends refixing a recurring problem is an hour they're not spending on innovation or making things better. It just completely burns out your best people, and let's be honest, it eats up the budget. It really feels like you're running on a treadmill. You're working hard, you're sweating, but you're not actually going anywhere. So, the big question is, how do we get off? Well, the answer is all about shifting our focus. We have to move from just fixing incidents to actually solving problems. And that's where we start talking about a more formal, more structured approach called problem management. It all begins with a really clear goal. Now, this right here is the core idea. It's got 2 parts, and both are absolutely critical. The first part is about minimizing the adverse impact. That's stopping the immediate bleeding, right? But the second part, that's the real game changer, preventing recurrence. And there's no way you can do that unless you get to the bottom of what's causing it in the first place. So this term root cause gets thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's not the alert that went off or the service that crashed. Come on, those are just the symptoms. The real root cause is that one buggy line of code, or that server that was set up wrong from the get-go, or maybe a flawed process that allowed the whole thing to happen. Finding it means you gotta dig a lot deeper than the surface. And here's the best part. When you actually commit to doing that deep dive, the payoff is huge. And we're not just talking about making life easier for your tech teams. We're talking about real, measurable business value that you can see on a report. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Most of us start out on the left side, right, in fighting mode. We're all about those temporary workarounds. You restart the service, you clear the cache, you put a Band-Aid on it. It works for a little while, but deep down, you know it's going to come back. Problem management is all about moving to the right side of this screen, finding and rolling out a permanent fix so that the problem is gone, for good. And here's exactly how that translates to business impact. It's pretty straightforward. When you have fewer incidents popping up all the time, your services are just more reliable. For the business, that means higher service availability. And when your team is spending way less time fighting, well, that directly lowers your operational cost. It frees up all that brain power for work that actually moves the needle. Let's put some numbers to that first point, just to see how big of a deal this is. A jump from 99.5% to 99.9% availability, it might not sound like a lot. But over the course of a year, you're literally talking about the difference between more than 40 hours of downtime and less than 9 hours. For a critical service, that gap is absolutely massive in terms of lost revenue and customer trust. And this chart? This really drives home that second point about cost and effort. Just imagine if you could flip this script. Instead of 40% of your team's valuable time getting sucked into reactive firefighting, what if that energy could be put into proactive work? You know, building new features, making performance improvements, and actually preventing the next problem. That's the power this unlocks. So at the end of the day, what we're really talking about here isn't just another process to follow or, another ticket type in your system. It is a fundamental shift in culture. It's about changing how your whole organization thinks about and handles technology challenges. And this is the holy grail, right? This is the ultimate goal of mature problem management. You get so good at this that you start analyzing trends, spotting weaknesses, and fixing potential problems before they even have a chance to affect a single user. You're not just putting out fires anymore. You're basically fireproofing the entire system. The best way to think about this is as a journey. Look, most of us live in step 1. That's just reality. We're reactive or putting out fires as they come. The real value, though, starts when you get to step 2, when you have a structured, repeatable way to find and get rid of the root cause, the fuel for the fire. But the ultimate goal, where you really want to be, is step 3. That's where you're so ahead of the game, you're preventing the spark from ever happening in the first place. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to really think about for your own team. Are you just patching holes? Are your daily efforts all about putting Band-Aids on the same recurring issues? Or are you investing the time to understand why those holes keep appearing and actually strengthening the foundation? The answer to that question makes all the difference.